Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed if you are. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation/reality chat. I wanted to talk about something, guys, because as you know, Porsha, she married simonguobodia, what was it, last year? And the way they got together was extremely questionable. It had the internet, Instagram, all of that just really going crazy. And there were a lot of people who were so shocked by it. Some people disgusted, but honestly, some people were okay with it because they are fans of Porsha. And we do live in a culture, we do live in a society, we do live in a world where a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people, just because they like someone, they will be okay with certain behaviors simply because they like the person. And I'm not even talking about how it may have been at one point in time where someone would say, well, you know what, I don't agree with what they did, but I'm going to stand by them because that's my sis, or, you know, that's my friend, that's my whatever. And so they will make it known that they don't condone the behavior, they don't condone the actions, but yet I'm not going to leave this person hanging because I'm cool with this person, or I love this person, or they're my friend, they're my sister, whatever. It's it's more so people making justifications for the behavior because they like the person these days. And I do see that a lot more these days, just going off on a little bit of a tangent, where, as I've experienced it in business, with people that are, you know, they don't have integrity, but they will know that they did something wrong. They will know that they did something wrong. And instead of being silent or turning from it, or, you know, maybe not even coming out and making a statement about them being wrong about it and then just turning from it and doing something completely different. No, they will try to make justifications for the wrong actions that they did, for the wrong that they did to me. Like, for example, like, you did me wrong, and then you're going to justify it and lie and make things up in order to justify your actions. That's the times that we're living in now. So I'm just using that as an example because I wanted to talk about this story that Falynn Pina, formerly Falynn, she posted on her Instagram story. And it was talked about in the Bravo Shade Room on Instagram, because Falynn, she was married to Simon at the time that Porsha got with Simon. And the way we saw them meet on television was she was supposedly a friend of Porsha, and she came to Falynn and Simon's home, and Falynn introduced her to Simon. Porsha was there with her sister and whatever the chick's name, who used to be a friend on the show. I can't remember her name at the moment. But they came over, they had a little pool party, and Simon was sitting poolside and salivating over Porsha. And anyway, Tanya, that was her name, Tanya, the friend. Anyway, we all know that these people were never really friends. And Porsha has made that quite clear. She's made it known. She's come out. She's even done an interview on Tamron Hall show, which she actually came out later to try to make herself seem like a victim, to make it seem like Tamron Hall was attacking her. When all Tamara was doing was asking her the questions that most people would ask regarding her relationship with Simon and how she got with Simon. So anyway, I say all of that to say, we know that Falynn, she was in a relationship with the guy Jalen. I guess he was an assistant to she and Simon at some point in time. And a lot of people were questioning that because Simon came out to say prior to the divorce being finalized and during the time that he was dating Porsha, that Falynn was cheating on him. Listen, I'm not here to debate that story or to litigate it or anything like that, because what's done is done. Definitely what's done is done. And none of us were in the household. And I'm not here to say who got with who first, or who cheated on who first or last, or were they doing it at the same time or whatever. I don't know. But she made this post on Instagram on her stories, and it said, "Bitches sure as hell don't want a bitch to F your husband, but be quick to befriend a bitch who F's husbands." Laughing emoji, hashtag ew. And it was based on a picture that Porsha, Cynthia Bailey, Yandy from Love and Hip Hop, Moneta, who's currently on Real Housewives of Atlanta as a friend of the show, but she's supposedly a friend in real life to Candy, Quad from Married to Medicine, and somebody else, I don't know. And so I guess she was not commenting on the picture on the post per se, but she was commenting about that picture. We can only assume because the picture was not attached to her story that she wrote. So a lot of people are speculating about that. And this is what I wanted to talk about when it comes to that. Because Yandy's married. We know Cynthia's divorced. Moneta's married. Quad, we already know about her. And I don't know anything about the other chick. But I believe she was trying to make a statement with regards to women and their character being questioned. If you're married, is it cool to hang out with a woman that you know to be someone that got with someone else's husband while they were married? And I don't know. I don't know if these people are real friends in real life in that picture. Sometimes the relationships with the coworkers, because ultimately they start out as coworkers and some of them may become friends. I don't know. You know, with the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast, those people, it's always questionable to me, because I remember years ago when Porsha and Cynthia got into a fight and, you know, Cynthia was kicking Porsha in the crotch to keep her from beating her down because Porsha was about to do it on the boat that they were on. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could ever be friends with somebody that tried to beat me up. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just speaking for myself. But I wanted to find out what you guys think about what Falynn said. Does she have a point? And does she even have a right to speak about something like this, seeing as a lot of people are judging her based on the fact that the man that Simon accused her of cheating on him with, she ultimately wound up being pregnant by him, being in a relationship with him, going on a reality show called Couples Therapy on VH1. And yeah, they're broken up in real life now, but those things are questionable and definitely strange. For sure. For sure. But I get Falynn's point, because I do believe that Porsha, for whatever reason, she is a favorite of Andy Cohen, a favorite on Bravo TV. She's been given a lot of grace, seeing as she's been in multiple fights. She was allowed to come back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Phaedra was fired because she was the one that was saying these things. And I believe that she threw, in my opinion, I'm not saying Phaedra was innocent, but I believe she threw Phaedra under the bus, because on that reunion, when that information came out about the rumor that Porsha was saying about Candy and Todd wanting to do some things to her and take her to their dungeon and all this other stuff. Listen, Porsha said the stuff, okay? So for her to throw Phaedra under the bus and say, well, I can't speak about it because I got a cease and desist from Candy, so you're going to have to talk to Phaedra about it because she's the one that told me the information. Well, first of all, why didn't you say that then? And two, even if Phaedra was the one that told you, you were walking around saying the stuff. You were walking around saying it, even talking about Todd cheating on Candy and saying that he goes by Marvin when he's out of town. And it was just so much stuff that Phaedra said. I'm saying all of these things to say they rewarded Porsha. They rewarded Porsha for bad behaviors. And she's continuously come up off of bad behaviors. She got with this man while he was married. It was wrong, in my personal opinion. And I believe Falynn has a right to feel some type of way. I don't care if people say, well, Falynn only married Simon because he had money. Well, duh. I'm not saying that she did it, but either way, it was her husband. It was still her husband. They were not in a situation where they were separated. It was her husband, and it was how Porsha met Simon. I don't care about Porsha saying, well, we weren't really friends. I just met her. This is the way. Yeah, the shows they do that. They will allow someone to be introduced to the show by saying that this is a friend of mine or whatever when they're not really friends. Yeah, it does happen because even though it's a reality show, it is, and it's not like your regular scripted programming, movie, television show, albeit it still is scripted in some way. They have producers, they have writers. They do. They definitely do. They may not have the type where they're writing out a full on, television show, but I'm just saying. So at any rate, what do you feel about what Falynn had to say? Do you feel that she has the right to have her opinion about this? Because there's some people that are like, girl, you still on that? That was years ago. I don't care if it was 50 years ago. It was her husband. And I believe that Falynn didn't come out immediately swinging immediately. So I believe that some of what she may be expressing now may be a delayed response because she tried to come out being graceful and not calling Porsha out. And I mean, she didn't do any of that immediately. She even did a sit-down interview on Up and Adam's YouTube channel, and she did not drag Porsha at all. If she didn't drag anybody, to be honest with you, but if you want to say that she really address anybody, it was more so she was addressing her husband, which is only right because you really can't, unless it's like a Melody and, coleslaw peasant rat situation with the chick that has the birth name of Ariana Curry, where she just continuously is harassing Melody. Unless it's that type of situation, the wife really shouldn't be coming at the woman. The person that they should be addressing is their husband because he is the one that married you. He is the one that made vows to you. He is the one that's supposed to be loyal to you, not the other woman. I'm not saying it makes what the other woman did right, but I believe Falynn addressed things in a very graceful way when the news broke and when the news came out. I never saw anything where she came out swinging at Porsha immediately after the fact. So her expressing this thought, I don't see anything that she said that was wrong. So I'm going to read some of the comments from the poll. Someone says, Porsha Williams is sick for marrying Simon, and the way she got him is the way she'll lose him. Time will tell. Falynn didn't cheat on Simon. She pursued a relationship with Jalen well after Simon was having an affair with Porsha while looking after his disabled sons. Listen, I don't know about the part about she getting with Jalen well after Simon was having an affair. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not here to debate that or litigate that. But the truth of the matter is, whether you like Falynn or not, you cannot deny that Porsha got with a man that was married. And married to someone that we saw her get introduced to by that woman on a television show. Someone else says, people like moving the goal when it involves their faves. Regardless of how you feel about Falynn, it don't change the fact that Porsha slept with that woman's husband after Falynn invited her into their home. And that's the point that I was trying to say. And someone else is responding to that comment. Exactly. Falynn may have been going through a divorce while pregnant, but that man was long gone with Porsha. And then, someone tries to justify it and say, well, they were friends. Who really cares? So, Someone else says, just because Falynn cheated, it doesn't make Porsha any less of a bird. They're both birds. And see, that's the thing, because I'm like, not here to defend Falynn's actions with who she got with, whether either after Simon was cheating on her, after the divorce, before the divorce, whether she got pregnant by somebody else or not. None of that takes away from the fact that Porsha got with her husband, and Falynn was making a comment based on how most women feel. Most women, if they're married, they probably would not be hanging around a woman who is a known husband stealer, if you want to use the word. Some people say you can't steal a person. Well, most people, if they're married, they probably would not, most women, if they're married, they probably would not be comfortable being around another woman that they know to have gotten with someone else's husband. And it's a true statement. So just because of Falynn's actions, who she got with, who she didn't get with, who she had a baby with, who she didn't have a baby with, how many kids she has, whatever, the girl is clearly broken. I don't know her, don't know anything about her personally, but she's clearly got some issues that she needs to work out mentally, even before all of the situation. Because, as we believe, Simon has money, he has access. It's questionable how much money he has, but at any rate, Porsha didn't get with him because he was an up-and-coming person in the world. And Falynn definitely didn't get with him because he was an up-and-coming person in the world. They definitely were with him because he had money and access and the charisma and the charm that reeled them in. So anyway, guys, you let me know your thoughts about all of this, because I really just wanted to talk about, does she have a right to feel any sort of way just because of her actions and just because of how long ago it's been? Because there's some people that feel like, girl, that happened seasons ago. You still on that? And some people feel like, well, you were sleeping with the help, so why do you have an opinion about this? Move on with your life. And then there's some people that feel like, well, right or wrong when it comes to Falynn, it doesn't take away from what Porsha did. And it just was I felt like a cause for a discussion about that. So you let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you so much for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.